Hello and welcome to the Snap UK podcast, your home for news and reviews of the NFL from this side of the pond. I'm Jimmy G and I'm joined in the doghouse by Johnny Thrash, Gilo and Griff. No Paul. Thank you. No Paul today because he is considerably under the thumb and sounding like a very sexy husky, from what John says. We're back after a couple of weeks off. We're reviewing the draft. We've got a bit of news to talk about. We're
previewing the draft. The draft hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, well done. Thank you. This is why I need a script. Literal corrections on the fly.
I think you're doing a great job, dude.
Thank you. You're doing it next week.
I think you're fine.
Fine. I'll take that.
Car crash through binoculars.
Wow. I'm just going to give up now, shall we? We're also going to be finding out who our teams are for our annual mock draft. Apparently that's one bit of preparation Griff has managed to do, despite not looking at the NFL since the Super Bowl.
I know the draft order, and I know you guys' 4 names.
To be fair,
that's all I needed.
Getting him here has been like pulling teeth.
Oh, Christ.
Literally, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Moving heaven.
I was trying to think the last time I was here.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yeah, there you go. Super Bowl.
Nice to see you again. Not growing any hair in the meantime.
It's never going to happen.
He's still holding on.
I tried very hard to grow the Hawk from WWF style side parts, like the reverse mohawk, and then I fucked up shaving it. And I was very upset because I was going to do it and I was going to dye it and everything. I thought it'd be hilarious to come in with it dyed red on one side and black on the other.
So now you look like a cheap British Tintin.
Yes, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that.
Right, brilliant. All right, so we'll start off with a bit of news. So released from today, Brian Hoyer signing for the Raiders for 2 years.
An amazing deal. 2 years to go and educate Jimmy G, who doesn't need any tutoring. It's just Josh McDaniels clinging to things he knows best.
I like the Raiders' policy this year of. Does he know McDaniel? Yes, sweet. Let's sign him.
The concern here is, right, so last year you had Derek Carr backed by Marcus Mariota. Now, they're not the same sort of quarterback, but...
Marcus Mariota was in Atlanta.
Apologies. You had Derek Carr backed by Jarrett Stidham, who was familiar with the McDaniel system. They're not necessarily the same sort of quarterback, but you can make the same plan work, as proven in the last 2 games when Stidham wasn't terrible. You've now got the most injury-prone quarterback in the NFL, backed by the shittest quarterback left in the NFL.
No, he's not the shittest.
No, that would be harsh.
And that was me.
He's not Colt McCoy.
He's not Colt McCoy. He's not Jarrett Stidham.
Mike
Basically, you're going to see Brian Hoyer start 4 to 6 games this season for the Raiders.
Do you know what the thing is?
It's worth it. It's worth it for that alone.
All that makes me think is that Josh McDaniels has no ideas of his own. He has no idea.
Oh, he has his own ideas. He just persisted with them now for many years.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he clearly cannot influence more than a certain sphere of people to play how he wants.
I don't see it like that. I think the system that he wants to use is very complicated and he benefits from players who have already had time to learn it, which is why Mac Jones struggles so much trying to move out of that system or use it in someone else's hands. The McDaniel system is very complicated. So bringing in Hoyer is good, but because the primary quarterback is Jimmy G, you're going to see him play a lot of games.
It's a very expensive mistake.
How many games has he missed in the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons with the Niners? No, Jimmy G.
It's normally
14 games across 2 seasons.
Yeah, he didn't get rushed back, did he? This season?
No, but still, like you're going to see Brian Hoyer 4 to 6 starts.
I completely agree with you. But
it's going to be brilliant.
Is that? I mean, it is an absolute negative on the fact that Josh McDaniels can't seem to teach any other quarterback his system. At some point in time, he's going to run out of quarterbacks.
Because you don't find many Tom Bradys.
No, you do not find many Tom
Brady. So you cannot just go, well, if they're not good enough, that's what I want to do. Well, that doesn't work, does it? Clearly doesn't work.
Surely at some point in time, he needs to recognise that and think, well, Jimmy G's going to be injured. Brian Hoyer is, pushing 40 now. Jarrett Stidham is gone. Derek Carr couldn't pick it up. Mac Jones couldn't pick it up. Bailey Zapp, we don't know about because he didn't play under Josh McDaniels.
He's a pay.
So at some point, Josh McDaniels needs to figure out himself as a coach that he improves his communication, improves his playbook, that actually a rookie quarterback or a younger quarterback can understand the system.
What was the
8
Raiders?
games, by the way.
8 games, thank you.
Oh, sorry, right. Okay, what was the Raiders' record last year? Was it 8-9? Ish.
So, yeah.
I think it was something like that, yeah.
8-9, right?
Scraped into
Right
the-
now,
scraped into the
pre-draft,
playoffs.
do they win more than 7 games this season?
No.
No, because their division has stepped forward,
Yeah.
and I don't think they've stepped forward, and they were already not very good. You telling me that the Broncos won't be a shed load better this season?
They'll be 100% better
Right.
under Sean.
I think the Raiders are in trouble this
They've
season
still
already.
got a shit quarterback.
Yeah, they might have, but everything else should take a step
They've
forward.
got a better chance of succeeding this season with Sean Payton than they did with the bald bollock last year.
I'm just saying.
6-11.
I think the Raiders 6-11. Okay, so 7 games then feels generous.
They were the one win in the Jeff Saturday reign. Remember?
Yes, they were. Exactly.
What makes the bigger improvement? The Raiders swapping Derek Carr for Jimmy Garoppolo, or the Broncos swapping Nathaniel Hackett with Sean Payton?
I don't think Jimmy Carr is an upgrade on
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr would be an amazing upgrade. I don't think, but the jokes would be brilliant. I don't think Jimmy G is an upgrade on.
No,
Derek
I don't.
Carr.
I think it's just like for like.
I think
Yes,
it's a
at
downgrade. I do. I think it's a downgrade.
I think it's a downgrade because of availability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
the Raiders finished 1 game ahead of the Broncos. I don't think the Raiders have
Broncos can't be
improved. The
that
Broncos
bad
can't be that bad again.
They can't.
I can't remember who the backup for Wilson is going to be this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Peyton play him.
Jared Stidham.
Is it Jared Stidham?
Yeah.
Oh,
If we had our new,
it would be beautiful. If we had our new data center up on the wall, I'd know.
I've
the
got it
answer.
here if it helps.
I don't have it.
Right, moving on to the next bit of news. We've mentioned him already. Apparently, Mac Jones being shopped around by Bill Belichick. Resident Patriots fan.
I have only seen that journalists inquired as to whether Belichick is prepared to name a starter, and he said no. He said everyone will get their opportunity in pre-season. There were rumours last season that Belichick was talked out of continuing to play Zappe because it would have destroyed Mac Jones' confidence.
So he played all right when he came in. Right?
Zappe, what did he have? 2 games, 3 games?
2 or 3,
He played fine. As John will always say, no one's got any tape on him, so they haven't figured him out. But he looked confident, whereas Mac Jones looked lost. And that made a big difference. I liked what I saw out of Zappe, but you haven't seen enough to know. Bill O'Brien has the opportunity to work with Mac Jones, which he's done before, or the system at least has done before. We will see if Bill O'Brien can go back to being a really top quality head coach. If he can, then Mac Jones will blossom. If he can't, then by week 8 you'll see Zappe in the lineup, because Bill isn't going to risk having a losing season again. He's just going to throw everything at it, and that is how it will work. I don't know which I prefer, to be fair.
I think you've got to find a way to make Mac Jones work. There's a lot of talk that you're going to take a quarterback in the draft, and
there were a lot of talk that we would trade for Lamar.
No.
you just don't do stuff like
No,
that.
and I don't think we should.
That talk came from the Mars tank.
I don't think we should, because
It's tank.
I was looking at tank.
but
I love the idea of Lamar, who's got no agent, on his own, driving around in a fuck off tank.
But the
saying,
reason-
trade for Lamar.
the reason we shouldn't is because we tried a Lamar style quarterback with Cam, and it didn't fit anywhere near with what Belichick wants to do. So
Yeah, but if you're gonna make a fucking a hash and a piss up,
Timmy.
If you're gonna, that's a really great
Yeah.
verbal way of explaining what
Yeah,
you mean.
absolutely. Well,
that sentence was the equivalent of the Patriots picking up wide
What
receivers.
do the Patriots actually want to do now? Because we only talk about the Patriots
Win.
as if that Brady era is all they've ever been. It wasn't. They were shit before that.
they were shit before.
Yeah,
that.
no.
So
They have been shit.
what exactly? Like, they found a quarterback who knew how to win, who led them to lots of titles with an amazing defense. How are you going to do that again? It's very unlikely. So what is the direction of this team? You can't keep going back to that same system and go, well, we like running backs that catch the ball. Well, do you? Is that what you want now? I don't know who you are anymore.
No, I agree. I don't think they have, and I've said all along, until Bill goes, I don't think anything changes. I don't think he's in a position now to rebuild this team.
He'll have an amazing defence. That still isn't enough, or a very good defence that still isn't enough to win.
Yeah, I agree.
And the offence won't be able to function.
I think this is a big year for the Patriots. I like the signing of Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator.
So do I,
because he's always been a good coach.
He's not fucking Matt Patricia, is he?
Terrible general manager.
Yeah.
I think if Matt Jones is going to succeed, it's going to be because Bill O'Brien succeeds.
Yeah.
And those two have got history of working together.
I do not understand why we haven't reappointed Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator. He was brilliant at that job, but he isn't officially being returned to the defence. He's still unofficially just working for the team. And it seems mad. Why?
Pictures of Bill.
Yeah, why would you do that? So I think they need to concentrate on their strengths, which is the defence, and allow Bill O'Brien 2 years to sort out the offence. Whether or not Belichick's got the time and the patience to do that, I doubt. I think it's...
He's got the patience to do it. It's just
No,
whether
but I think
Kraft has the patience in him.
Kraft will get rid of him, and Belichick will not tolerate another losing season.
That's
He will
it,
throw
yeah.
everything at him.
The impatience is in Belichick. Belichick will just keep going, doing it until he dies. He's wheeled away in a
I
box.
keep saying Landry stayed too long. Belichick should not be allowed to stay too long. I don't think he's going to turn it around.
Kind of agree.
Then we can enter the sort of David Moyes banter style Patriots era.
I think they just need something new, something fresh. Like, just go and be the GM. Like, just go
That's
be the
the that's the thing he's shittest at.
I know, but I can't see him going totally.
Be a Coughlin.
He'd be awful as a GM as well. But it'd be like that Fergie syndrome. You know, who's actually in charge of the dressing room? It wouldn't
I
be
think
terrible. I could see it happening though.
If Kraft makes him budge, Bill will go. He'll be gone.
He'll turn up somewhere else as a GM. You're right. He'll do what Bill Parcells did.
Yeah.
Like just bounce around to like
Go to the
Miami
Jags or somewhere.
Something stupid like that. Some franchise that's in the doldrums that was looking for a new direction. Yeah.
Finally coach the Jets.
Go back to the Browns as GM.
Yeah, could well do. All right, moving on. The Washington Commanders are still owned by Daniel Schneider, but it's only a matter of time.
Only just.
There are...
Was it $6 billion?
There's two bids of $6 billion and a bid of $5.5 billion.
I mean, what is the extra $5 billion for? Because you're buying...
Extra $500 million.
apps. No, $5 billion, because I can't imagine that the Commanders are worth
that sum of money.
Almost twice the cost of the Broncos. I know they're in Washington. I know they're an established team. They're fucking shit with a rotting stadium.
It's the size of their market.
Yeah.
That's what you're buying.
They are a very big team.
Oh, yeah. They're also a massive fucking headache and a massive lawsuit as well due to come. It's appalling, but
I'm sure a lot of that will be factored in.
Yeah.
I think I also think a lot of that might just go away if Daniel Schneider goes away.
Yeah. But let's not say he's not going away as well. He's walking away. He's paid $700 million for the Washington Redskins back in the day. He's coming away with $6 billion. I think
it's just inflation, though, John.
I know, but why is he?
It's like my parents bought a house for £18,000. It doesn't mean shit, does it?
Well, no, but I'm just saying, what has Daniel Snyder done to warrant walking away with an extra $5.3 billion?
Owned them.
I know, but
that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad.
The world we live in.
I fucking hate it.
I do as well.
He can, yeah.
Save it for your politics podcast.
But it's not political. There, he's just.
I think we all agree it's a dumpster fire.
He's being rewarded for taking a historic franchise through the fucking doldrums.
Things are worth what people will pay for them.
I know. Yeah.
Like you can't get emotional about that. But you can't.
I think it sums him up.
You can't, can you?
No, exactly. I think it sums the guy up though. He's refusing to sell to Jeff Bezos because obviously Amazon own the Washington Post, and the Washington Post are the ones that are digging up all the dirt on them. It just shows how.
Also, if you're a broadcaster, you shouldn't be able to own a team anyway.
Sorry?
If you're a broadcaster, which Bezos is, you shouldn't be allowed to own a team.
Yeah, but he's not he's not the CEO of Amazon anymore.
Non-executive.
Non-executive director. He's still one of the richest people in the world and can afford to buy them.
Yeah.
Griff, anything on the Commanders?
I was looking at the wonderful data sheet now on the wall, and I'm thinking the staff looks really good. Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy, Jack Del Rio. That is a solid trio.
Yeah, then you hit the quarterback.
If you listen to our last podcast,
which I didn't.
we did discuss how good the coaching staff
I don't know
looked.
anything about Marin Mayhew. I don't know anything about the GM. I don't really follow GM business. But the trio of coaching there is excellent. They have Sam Howell, who is virtually untried in the league, backed by Jacoby Brissett, which makes me think you're going to see a lot of Jacoby Brissett. And very little cap
I like
space.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Brissett.
or
That's
Jake Brisket.
fine. But
Jake Brisket.
it feels like if Ron is allowed to basically shoulder all responsibility, the team will soldier on. They'll be in the playoff hunt till about week 13, and then they'll fall back a bit. If he is forced out the door by new ownership, you could get another 5 years of this just bouncing around with no direction. Like, I think Ron Rivera doesn't get enough credit, and he needs to be part of whatever happens next. Because
they need to rip it up.
don't forget how well they did to be. I know the division wasn't amazing, but like they were taking the wins where they could, and he kept them in the hunt till the penultimate week of the season.
That division is just very tight, isn't it? You know, there's the Eagles obviously had an amazing year last year. We're not sure how great they'll be this year, but I think the other teams, the Cowboys, should be better than they were, and then like they've come down a bit from where they should be, and then the Giants overperformed. And the Commanders managed to somehow hold on to them just a bit. And,
they were still
very,
better than
very
every
close.
team in the NFC South. Most of the NFC West. Like it's the
NFC West had a really down year, didn't it? The Rams and the Cardinals were just
appalling,
awful, and
And the
you can't see them.
Seahawks were above expectations.
You can't see it being that bad again. You would think the NFC South. There's so many teams rebuilding. It's unbelievable.
You can see NFC West being that bad again.
Yeah.
if the Commanders can keep the defense going, like they could be, if managed right, they could be a sort of 49ers light. Like they've got a really good defense. They just need to then move the ball.
Cast-offs.
I was just looking at the cap space.
Is that right, John? Is
2.4
that
million.
accurate?
That's from over the cap.
Like this week?
That's from
Pulled it this week.
from an hour ago.
Yeah.
So I was looking at they've got 2.4 million, and I was looking at their roster going, where the hell's that money?
Is some of that lost in Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah. Because on their official depth chart, or unofficial depth chart on their official website, labelling, they haven't got a quarterback listed.
Nah.
They haven't got a centre listed. They haven't got a first team right guard. They haven't got a backup quarterback. It's like, and Antonio Gibson is their running back. It's like Terry McLaurin can't be commanding that much money.
No, but yeah, I think
on the defensive line it's good.
Yeah.
I know they have just paid Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen is brilliant, Chase Young. If he comes back to full fitness is good, but he's still on a rookie contract, and Montez Sweat is passable as a pass rusher. Yeah. That's a good defensive line. And to your point, they've invested. They're all first-round picks.
Yeah. No, I think it's...
Oh, Effie Obard is there as well.
Yeah. And like, let's not kid, the Giants probably won't be as good next season just because we overperformed the stats. If they can take their chances, take their wins when they get them, they may make the playoffs. It's as long as he's gone, then fucking great.
I have a question about your data sheet.
Go on.
Still listing Matt Ryan as the quarterback of the Colts. He was released. He's not there.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying.
It needs update.
They don't have a starting
I
quarterback.
know. Yeah.
Do they have a backup?
I don't even know if Sam Ellinger's still there, but he might be because he would still be under contract. But Matt Ryan is gone.
Cool. Yeah.
Who thought we'd live in that world there?
No. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah.
No, that's okay. I just wondered. I thought maybe I had missed something.
No. The Colts just are so shit. I can't be asked to update them.
They are pretty bad. All right. Moving on. Ongoing trade sagas. I've labelled this next section. Where do you want to start?
Start with Rodgers, so I don't have to talk.
Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer. And I didn't... did we record this 3 weeks ago?
We recorded it, and during the recording,
we kept checking.
Pat McAfee announced that he was going to be interviewing Rodgers on the next show. Rodgers then announced, I want to be a Jet.
I think we talked about what he was going to go for, and we thought that the Packers probably wanted this noise gone. They wanted his salary gone. They understood the impact of his salary on his trade value, and we thought he might go for like a third round pick.
I think
just to get rid of him. And
the longer it goes on, the more power the Jets have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to be in Green Bay. Green Bay don't want him. The Jets know that. And it's getting closer and closer to the draft. They're not getting a first-round pick for him. Not on that contract. And I think the Jets are just probably playing this actually very well.
The initial talk was that it was 2 first-round picks they wanted.
I think that is what they want, but they won't. Jim's
first-round
right.
picks.
They won't get it.
They won't get a
The Jets
first-round
can
pick.
basically wait until draft.
We all
night.
thought it'd be 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that, because you've got to pay that $58 million this year or whatever it is. Like, that's mad for a 39-year-old.
I'm amazed it's not been done already, because I thought the Jets were now in a new direction whereby they're getting all their ducks in a row and trying to sort everything out. But
He won't turn up anyway for the voluntary sessions. So what's the point?
Well, he might do. He's at the
No,
Jets.
he won't.
Anyway, he's not going to do it anyway. He's at Green Bay. So Green Bay they kind of really need this to happen, because they need that pick before the draft so they can use the draft to start
yeah,
building
A lot
around
of talk
Jordan
it might
Love.
happen on draft night.
Could it be
It's a
that?
game of chicken, isn't it, at the moment?
Could it be Goodell's
What's
saying,
the drama?
"I want the drama on draft night. I want
want to
it.
be in my study.
I want to be the person to announce it on the stage, wherever the fuck it is."
probably.
Possibly.
And it makes me not want to
Because
watch.
I'll watch it because
So
it's the draft. It's still,
choreographed.
but yeah, I don't give a shit. But I just sort of, I probably should retire.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll just,
I don't think
he'll
so.
just go. It would be hilarious and so Jets-like if Rodgers then decided, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, fuck this, I'm out.
There's two things can happen. He either retires and never goes there, or in week 1 he gets absolutely blown out by someone and never plays again for the Jets. And it would be so Jets, it would be painful. Like, you can see
Yeah,
it because
you're
it's the
right.
Jets. They're a cursed franchise.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
I hope they get him, and we'll see what he's got left. But
I love an underdog. I think it's some of what the Jets have been doing. You look at me, and that's really, really smart. And then they go and try and sign this dickhead, and you're like, oh no, you get everything that's coming to you.
it's the full Rodgers experience.
Yeah.
That's what you get. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's
Rodgers,
all about Rodgers.
Do you think he's going to be? How long is he going to be that good for? Because
2 years,
he
maybe tops.
was okay last year. Okay,
Yeah.
MVP the year before.
The supporting cast in the Jets is actually
2
better
years
than
before.
he's just had.
2 years before. But will he actually throw the ball?
He's got Alan Lazard there, so
But
yeah.
will he throw the ball? Because
Randy
looks like he's
Cobb
got
will
the
turn
yips to me. Like if he was playing darts, I'd say he's done. Because he can't throw it.
I can't disagree with what you're saying. I think he's definitely in the death throes of what he's got left.
I think he cares more about his stats than anything else.
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he has.
He
done
doesn't
for the
want to
last
throw
few
picks.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to throw
yeah.
picks.
He doesn't want to be Brett Favre,
Yeah.
who just started throwing picks as well as touchdowns. So
Gary, how long until we're sick of talking about Aaron Rodgers like you were Tom Brady?
yesterday,
I think
you there
do you know what? I think the thing with Rodgers rather than Brady is like he's a dick, but he never cheated.
That we know of.
And that cheating, but then he's such a smarmy little bastard, Brady. Even though he
Compared to humble old Aaron Rodgers.
but it was like he pretended like he was squeaky clean, all the time. But he was like a dirty little cheater, and that's what just used to annoy me. So, but he was great. I can say that now.
All right. So the next quarterback with a elongated off season, it seems like Lamar Jackson, still technically with the Ravens. He's demanded he demanded a trade at the beginning of March before they put the franchise tag on him. I don't know. There seems to be nothing happening when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Like, no one's stepping forward. No one's giving him an offer sheet.
why would they?
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I think this is an example of a player wants to be rewarded by his team for everything he's contributed, and the team are saying, how about you make it through a whole season and show us that you're worth it? How many playoff games has he won? One. So what makes him worth more money than
Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins, yeah.
He's also started less games than Jimmy Garoppolo in the last 2 years.
Exactly. I think he needs to be more realistic. I think the fact he doesn't have an agent really hurts him.
I think it hurts him on two factors. One, there's no one to keep him grounded, in the sense that no one is paying the Deshaun Watson contract to anyone. Like the Browns were an enigma when it comes to that. That's just not happening again. And I think the second one is...
But let me just stop you there, though. It's not just them now. It's also the Cardinals who have overpaid Kyler Murray and are now aware that they may miss him for most of the coming season.
Yeah, whatever happens...
It's not just one direction.
No. But whatever happens, quarterbacks are going to continue to get paid more and more and more. That's just...
Not the guarantee.
But not
cash.
the guarantee. Kyler Murray hasn't been getting guaranteed cash.
I think that is an issue with the game, isn't it? And we've talked about it before because they just spend so much of the salary cap. What is the salary cap now?
200 and something.
Right. So... in
like
Green Bay,
15 or 20% goes to Patrick Mahomes and
yeah.
Chiefs. Yeah.
So in Green Bay, it's like what, sixth?
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. How are you supposed to fill the other 52 slots on the roster? Like, I get quarterbacks get injured. They get injured a lot less than running backs.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. It's just, I think they just get paid too much.
I'd probably agree.
$58 million to play like 17 games, and some of them play like 11 games.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's when you break it down. You go, yeah, I'm going to pay you $5 million a game.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
It is the most important position in like sport. Like, you know, I can understand if like you're paying a goalkeeper like 400 grand a week. I go, do you know what? Yeah, but like it's.
But do they need as much as 55
but
million?
But
you know, surely.
Okay, Green Bay have overpaid for an old man.
Why don't they salary cap positions? You know, they do it obviously with a rookie contract.
Sure, that's never going to happen.
Because then you get players saying, well, I want to be classed as this, or like tight ends, you want to be wide receivers. And no. What they need to do is say, the salary cap is this, or you can have a salary cap of this guaranteed, but it's less than the other one. So you can have 55 million, but or less guarantees, or you can have a fully guaranteed 34 million pound contract. And that's it. That's what they need to do. They need to set some rules and say, we're not going to become like the NBA where there's super duper awesome max contracts where you're guaranteed 75 billion pounds a week. Like
baseball, some of them.
Yeah, they need to pick that off. There was some guy in baseball.
He's
going to get paid like $15 million for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
He's going to be 50 odd.
Trout.
By the end of his contract, he's 50 something years old, and you're like.
Yeah, but they do pay like 160 games a season.
Yeah, but he will only start like 40 of them.
He did an amazing deal though, didn't he? Where he deferred some money, and it's just basically they've had to pay him out on the same date every year for like 40 years or something stupid, just to defer it. But no, I think it's so the problem with Lamar is they look at players like Cam Newton. That's what other teams are doing. They're looking at Cam Newton going, when he went bust. Like, he was done. He was totally done.
Yep.
He could be RG3.
Yep.
And he hasn't done as much. I don't think he doesn't come across, I might be wrong, but in terms of to the media, you know, kind of the way he comes, I wouldn't say he's like a Josh Allen. Nobody seems to like...
There's no one from the Ravens coming out.
I love him. You know, who's saying that they love him?
Yeah. Apart from John Harbaugh did, but...
But Josh Allen, he is the face of that franchise, isn't he? Would you say the same for Lamar?
Yeah.
I think he is, but I don't know.
Who else have the Ravens got?
Josh Allen is actively the face of the Bills.
That's what
Lamar Jackson less actively the face of the Ravens.
Mahomes is the face of the Chiefs.
But if I asked you now, which I'm going to do, is Lamar quarterbacking the Ravens in game 1 of the season? You're most likely going to say yes. No,
I don't think he will be.
You don't?
I think even if he stays with the Ravens, he's going to hold out. I don't think he's going to go back there.
I don't know if he will, because I think at some point he's going to think, shit, the only people who are really offering me anywhere near what I want are the Ravens.
There's a lot of talk the Colts are going to come in for him.
I think this is one of the problems of him not having an agent. There's no one to keep him grounded, but there's no one to work the back channels of all the different teams to figure out what the trade value is for him. There's no middleman. It's down to him. And look, don't be wrong, Lamar Jackson, very intelligent guy. It's done well to get the offer that he had from the Ravens. on the table in the first place. Fair play to him. But he hasn't got the experience or the contacts to go to every single GM in the league or select few GMs in the league and go, Lamar Jackson I really want to play for you. What's it going to take? Or have that kind of that back and forth with a different team. He hasn't got that. He didn't have it before free agency, which is when most of the negotiations would have been taking place. He couldn't do it because he was the actual player.
Yeah.
And now teams that needed a quarterback are either high in the draft and ready to go for one, or they've signed a free agent.
Yeah.
So realistically, who's going to give up 2 picks? Because that's what it's going to cost. 2 first round
round
picks.
You've got to be in win now, haven't you? Almost win now.
The
Spend that.
the only team I can see is likely to do it, 2 teams. One is the Colts, and the other one would be the Titans.
Okay, here's why I think the Colts won't do it, and then watch them sign him while we're doing this podcast. But they have just been through 3 or 4 quarterbacks in 4 seasons. The GM can't afford to get this wrong. And if Lamar Jackson gets injured in week 4 and misses the rest of the season, he's out of a job. It's over. 2 first-round picks sinks the Colts if Lamar gets injured. I don't think he's worth the risk.
They can sit at 4 and get a young quarterback of their choice.
I don't think he's worth the risk.
No, it'll be cheaper for the next.
So
5
then
years.
the other option is the Titans.
Didn't they draft a quarterback last year?
Yeah, it was shit.
Malik Willis. Well,
And because
Didn't Griff like him?
I said I thought out of all the ones taken, he was the one most likely to come out.
Wasn't he a third rounder
he
anyway?
was 3rd round,
Yeah.
but
It means nothing.
Yeah, he's
He
not
was a
important.
bad quarterback.
He is
year last
totally
year.
expendable.
It wasn't great.
He got dropped for Josh
look.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Sometimes even Mr. Irrelevant can be
If-
very.
put it this way:
worthwhile.
if the Titans, right, if the Titans came in, gave up 2 first-round picks and signed Lamar,
first round pick and Derrick Henry.
yes, maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't know if the Ravens
Potentially.
would do that. But let's say they gave up whatever they've got to give up to get Lamar. So Lamar is then quarterback of the Titans. That leaves Ryan Tannehill out of a job. Let's say Tannehill signs for the Colts.
Commanders.
No, just leave it this way.
yeah,
If it goes to the Colts, right? I think the Colts have a better season than the Titans. Because I think Ryan Tannehill plays almost all of the games and is a better, quote, quarterback than Lamar, who's going to want to run and is likely to get injured again. I think they're giving up too much.
Isn't it true, though, that Lamar's injuries that have led to most of his games missed have been from injuries from within the pocket?
I don't know.
I'm
really
almost
don't.
certain that is.
But
Yeah.
is that because he holds the ball too long?
Either way,
I don't know.
Well, if you're not going to, but part of the reason he holds the ball on so long, he hasn't got any fucking receivers.
But the point is, a lot is put into the fact that he's a running quarterback, and I've said it. People look at him, they think he's Cam, but actually the injuries he's had that led to him missing
not got
games
the same body as
have
Cam.
mainly been inside the pocket.
Yeah.
He's always had accuracy issues as well, even when he has had wide
But
receivers.
all I'm saying is, for the expense, I don't think he's worth it. I think if the Colts signed Ryan Tannehill, they have just as good, if not a better season than they do if they sign Lamar. And Ryan Tannehill is worth what right now?
Yeah,
Second, 4th-round pick.
The only thing I would say to counter that was if you are lining up against John's, hated running back Jonathan Taylor, who's a fraud.
I think
John.
One season
no.
wonder.
One season wonder. Yeah,
I
It's
think
like when I said Aaron
I'm
Jones
not.
was elite.
Do you know what? I'm not
Wasn't elite.
saying Jonathan Taylor. I'm saying the system at the Indianapolis Colts is shit. But if you had Lamar
You did say
and Jonathan Taylor, if suddenly
You line both
you
up.
line them both up, suddenly the offensive line gives them some space. The defensive line sees one of those guys running at you. That is a huge
that
game.
Would be my
Yeah.
only counter to what you're saying.
Yeah.
because
I think it
Lamar
could be.
and Jonathan Taylor,
But I also think if you're Lamar, you probably don't want a sort of running quarterback, really highly touted, who's come across with this incredible combine result. Going, do you know what? Yeah, no, he might be a low level Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson. Like, it doesn't help his value either. Because why would you pay $40 million for the next 4 years to some guy with injury issues when I can pay $20 million for the next 4 years to Anthony Richardson?
Because isn't there talk that Lamar wants like a Mahomes deal? He wants like a 10-year
Probably.
deal.
Go
he
win
wants
2
as-
Super Bowls.
He wants as much guaranteed as Deshaun Watson, but not over such a small period of
Yeah,
time. That's
yeah.
the argument they've been trying to make, isn't it? That he wants $250 million guaranteed, but across 10 years. It's like
They can't do it. And this is what I mean about the Colts. I just think the GM is signing his own death warrant if he gives up too much for Lamar.
How many times do we see it where a quarterback who has got an injury problem gets over it and suddenly at 100% for the rest of his career?
not very often.
Doesn't happen, does it?
No.
Like Jimmy G, he's injury prone. We all know that. Sam Bradford was injury prone. We all know that. Carson Wentz, injury prone. We all know that.
But Ryan Tannehill, we mentioned him. He's spent a lot of time injured the last
Brady
couple of
had a
years.
couple of baddies.
Brady had one bad injury, got over it. I'd never say Brady was injury prone.
No, he wasn't injury prone, but he
He had one bad injury and got over it. I just think it's too big a risk. You can't pay him as much guaranteed money. You can't expect that. Anyway.
Who would you rather pay that contract to? Lamar, Joe Burrow, or Justin Herbert?
Joe
Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Right. And out of those three, which
And
one would be bottom of the list for paying the most money to?
Lamar.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Lamar. Justin
I'd
Herbert.
take Lamar over Justin
I
Herbert.
know everyone loves Justin Herbert, and I think he makes real
He's
stellar
on a
plays.
shit team.
He makes really stellar plays, but
Both those quarterbacks could get paid.
But-
But that announcement could come at any day.
at the moment he hasn't delivered as much.
Yeah.
Brandon Staley's rubbish.
And I hear all of that, but you asked me the question
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what I would do right now.
But the point is,
and I
Joe
would-
Burrow is everyone's consensus
Oh,
pick.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
whatever Lamar gets, Joe Burrow's going to want more because he's a way better player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think
so
Joe-
it goes on.
I think Joe Burrows might be the second best quarterback in the whole.
After Josh Allen,
After
After
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
I think it's Mahomes,
See-
then Burrow, then everyone else.
I think it's Mahomes, Allen, and then Burrow.
No, I disagree. Burrows is better than Josh
I
Allen.
would take Burrow over Josh Allen at the moment.
I wouldn't.
I think Allen has too many mad
Yes.
moments.
Yeah.
He has bad games, but he's also brilliant. So, but yeah, they're the top three by a mile.
So it's a waiting game between Burrow and Herbert as to who gets the contract first and then who then goes on and beats it. Right. Last ongoing trade saga, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
He's
really,
not been signed yet, has he?
No, I mean he's still with the Cardinals. He's
Still,
getting
yeah.
paid a lot of money.
I wish
don't want him.
I wish we were having him to, because Bill O'Brien was his coach, right, at the Texans. I would love to give up something to get DeAndre Hopkins for Mac Jones or Baylor as a pay to throw to. That is what we need. That stellar wide receiver.
Yeah, I
right.
agree.
If the Patriots did that, it would be my favourite move they've ever made, because it would be almost like bringing Randy Moss back,
Yeah.
and that is what we need.
Also, I mean,
But nothing. There's nothing in me that thinks we're going to do that. Nothing.
given that free agency wide receivers have been few and far between,
Draft doesn't look great.
draft doesn't look great for free.
If
wide
I said to you
receivers.
that New England, right, who are shit at drafting, especially wide receivers,
I've seen
had
them-
given up their first round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, right, you'd go, well, he's a bit old, but they're not going to get anything better.
I think DeAndre Hopkins will want to go to a contender.
contender, yeah.
So do I, but
And that rules out the Patriots.
agreed.
It's fair.
I would
Has he got a choice? I'm not sure if he has a no trade
I would
clause.
imagine he will have. But there is talk that he's happy to renegotiate his contract if traded. I would not be surprised at all to see him turn up at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Juju left.
Yeah.
There's space at the Chiefs. McCall Hardman left as well, I believe, the
Yep.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
So
That's-
they need another weapon. I would
Yeah.
not be surprised at all if all of a sudden you saw DeAndre Hopkins roll into the Chiefs.
God, that would be good. I mean, for him,
If they want to go into dynasty mode, then
for him that just makes so much sense.
why not win a Super
Like-
Bowl?
I'm going to go to the Chiefs. I won't get paid as much as I did with the Cardinals, but I'm going to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and the Chiefs can give up what?
Could Cowboys
second
go for
rounder,
him?
first
They've
round?
got some space. They need some
Cowboys,
receivers.
Yeah.
The
Like-
rumour mill appears to be indicating that the Cardinals will be forced to cut him, or they're on the hook for $29.9 million.
So that's
And
probably what
if
everyone's
he
waiting
gets
for.
cut,
Yeah, that is
there
what they're
will
saying.
be
Yeah.
29 to 30 teams trying to get him.
It's just whether
The
someone
only ones
will,
that won't be will be the Cardinals and probably the Texans, because he would never go back.
It'll just be if somebody
And the Raiders, because he never played for the Patriots.
somebody might try and jump that though, mightn't they? Might try and go look.
We'll throw you a 6th round pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I-
And then renegotiate
Yeah.
the contract.
I
with him.
would
And that's where
love
I think
to
the
have him.
Chiefs might.
Yeah.
The Chiefs might come
Yeah.
in and go.
Yeah.
Do you
So
know
we saw
what?
that savvy that they could do
Yeah.
that. All right, it was the annual league owner meeting the other week. Couple of rule changes, nothing significant. The The Eagles scrum
Yeah,
rate carries on.
I'm amazed that nobody brought.
No one brought it up.
Common sense. Let something carry on.
Fine, we'll carry on with it. League rule changes. Players can now wear the number 0 shirt.
First one's already taken it.
Calvin Ridley.
Who'd have bet on that?
Hey.
How much he won gambling.
It's basically his Paddy Power account.
I mean, there's nothing else really. I wrote down they've expanded the replay officials' jurisdiction to allow for review on failed fourth down attempts. That's about as exciting as it got this year.
What's next on your list, Jim? Because that's rubbish.
There's some
making the penalty for tripping a personal foul.
Right.
And then there's now a need to provide greater clarity as to players' availability for a game. So no more. I mean, that's great for fantasy.
There was talk as well that they were going to try and do something with how many quarterbacks you could have active on the day, because obviously the Niners game at the end of the year was.
So there's been talk. So you dress 47 players, and they're talking about dressing 47 plus the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because what this is always going to go to is eventually quarterbacks will become their own thing. So your squad will be 53 plus 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks. They'll become separate. Same for the salary cap. It'll probably become salary cap for the quarterbacks, salary cap for everyone else. Yeah. And that because they don't want a shit show like you had, which is very unfortunate. But unless they change the practice rules, all those backup quarterbacks you've got are still going to be rubbish because no one's getting enough reps. So you either change the practice rules or you get a developmental league like the XFL should be.
I hear you, unfortunate, but I also thought it was incredibly funny.
I mean, it was hilarious because we sat here.
Team, I would have enjoyed
we
it.
sat here laughing.
I think me and Jim.
I almost found
in quite a lot of pain about it.
I almost found it as funny as Jimmy G did on the sidelines.
I'm not in pain because as soon as it happened, it's like, well, this game's over.
Picture that John took across the room of Gary and Jim.
It was just
staring.
like,
I still look at that now and cheer myself up.
Darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, it's like, well, now we're not going to win this, and now it's a shit game. It's like,
So funny.
Fuck. Anyway,
at least the Eagles lost.
What,
Fuck you.
What's your next point?
top free agents still left.
Oh, should mention the flex games because that was also brought up at the meeting that they want to flex the Thursday games, and it's going to be is it the last 4 games of the season can be basically it all comes down to money.
Well, it comes down to the fact Amazon were very upset with the fact they got saddled with a lot of shit games.
Yeah. But actually, when you look at the paper, they look fine.
This is why they need to be able to flex them. Because paper doesn't mean shit.
But I heard Joe Mara, the Giants owner, say it's really bad news for season ticket holders because you can be flexed to the Sunday to the Monday, and being flexed from Sunday to Thursday night is really hard. Crap for season ticket holders. So the less of that, the better, because it's about time someone, fought of the hardcore fans.
If they flex it, they need to offer refunds to fans that can't attend.
Yeah,
it needs to be a league enforcing because the ticket money goes to the league. Effectively,
yeah.
NFL offering refunds.
I know, but somebody should be forwarding that as a point.
But yeah, sorry, I just thought I'd mention it.
So top free agents remaining.
Right, this is according to NFLTradeRumors.co. Odell Beckham is number 1.
Is that just because there's no other wide receivers?
Yeah.
There's Julio.
Clowney, Rock Yassin.
But they're not wide receivers.
Yannick Ngakoue.
There are some good players on this list. So Beckham, Leonard Floyd, Jadeveon Clowney, Donovan Smith, Frank Clark,
Uncle Shaquille,
Chris Wormley.
Griffin, Marcus Peters is a good cornerback.
All I'm hearing is a lot of players who probably want to summer off.
Zeke Elliott,
Cole Van Noy.
Yannick Ngakoue has got 8 sacks a season.
Yannick Ngakoue is a hell of a player.
I know he's been around a few teams a lot, but
not that old.
He's 28 years old.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt's only 28.
He's had a come off a fucking shit year though.
Look at this: Zeke Elliott, Kareem Hunt. Zeke Elliott,
he's worth
Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette. Which one are you taking out of those 3?
Kareem Hunt.
Agree.
And we've just lost Damian Harris to the Dolphins. I would love a bit of Kareem Hunt.
I think you just draft a running back.
I agree as well. Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback.
I was just looking at on your data sheet on the wall there, the backup quarterbacks. Man, some of them suck. Teddy is definitely getting a job. The Rams don't even have a backup quarterback.
Bengals, look at Jake Browning. Who the fuck is Jake Browning?
Jake Brown and Kellen Mond, Will Greer, Nate Sudfield, EJ Perry. Isn't he a singer for Aerosmith?
Kansas City Chiefs have Shane Bukake.
Shane Bukake, Brian Hoyer.
Easton Stick, by the way,
Easton
not
Stick.
sick.
yeah. Easton Sick, yep.
Yeah, he is sick.
Drew Lock,
Look,
Malik
I
Willis,
don't think anyone
Matt Corral.
should be having to go at the data sheet.
We're just using it. Who the fuck is Anthony Brown? He was terrible.
This is the point. We never knew this information before.
No, now we know it, and it makes me angry. It amuses me that neither the Jets nor the Panthers have a starting quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
just accept it.
Although Cam Newton is out there still, and he
saying
says
he wants to play.
he is still better than 10 out there.
He said there
10
aren't
or 12.
32 quarterbacks better than me.
He might
And I
be
thought,
right.
no, there's 64.
I'll tell you what else is still there. Colin Kaepernick. Anyway, moving
Oh,
on.
you just sullied this fucking podcast again. The
I can't
Kaepernick alarm.
Yeah.
Who else we got on this list? Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
John, don't
He'll
get
get
John
signed.
started on
He'll
Jarvis
get signed.
Landry, please.
Give him a decent quarterback. It'll be fine.
He won't. He'll be average for a year, then he'll move on.
He's probably going to cost $12 million
Just
less
something
than
that we love to
Adele
argue
Beckham.
about. We just love to argue about it.
I love Jarvis Landry.
I think I love Jarvis Landry,
I've got a
but
big-
needs
I've
to
got
be
a lot-
away from the Saints.
a lot of
It was
time for
awful.
Jarvis Landry.
I've got a lot of time for Jarvis Landry.
It's like you're all playing Scrabble with him or something. What's going on?
Kenny Golladay.
Fucking Kenny.
Won't be in the league this season.
No.
He could probably get a prove-it deal somewhere. Like if you look at like
The
someone
XFL?
like the Titans, why don't you just give Kenny Golladay a couple of million a year?
It's wide receivers, the Giants.
But no, we got a few now.
Set.
I think we're probably going to draft one. But there's a lot of bad teams without any running wide receivers. Why don't you give Jarvis Landry or Kenny Golladay a couple of million to just run in a straight line?
Here's a list of bad wide receivers. Richie James, DeMarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, and Harry, Cadarrell Hodge, and Laquan Treadwell.
I think Richie James did all.
It's time for a break.
You know,
Somewhere.
while you're talking about this, do you know who the best wide receiver in the XFL is? By a mile.
No.
Josh Gordon. Fucking killing him. He's absolutely... Yeah, so somebody sign him back in the NFL. What are you
How many
doing?
drugs is he taking?
Doesn't matter. They're relaxing all that. It's fine.
I have been watching some XFL because it's fucking brilliant.
It's so good. It's so good because the
It's
defenses
so,
are so bad.
dirty.
Oh,
The
it's
hits.
amazing.
There was one this weekend. One of the hits was on the whistle had gone. The play
Yeah.
had stopped by about 3 to 4 seconds, and then the bloke went
Was
in.
it a better or worse hit than the fella that tried to propose on a baseball ground?
I saw
And
that.
ran out and got taken out by security, and the ring went fucking fly. Oh, it was beautiful. The guy was auditioning to be a linebacker. It was amazing.
Do you remember when the fan ran on the pitch last
And
season
the Rams
and
took him out.
Bobby Wagner took him
Wagner,
out?
Yeah.
It was like that.
it was so
The guy
good.
had that much awareness of it. It was fucking brilliant.
Why, he was just kneeling down. He had like no protection.
No, I say this was
There was
the.
like 3 of them on him as well.
But this guy, I'm talking about, was an XFL player. He's
Yeah,
like
it was
he literally just
amazing.
stood around, and then this bloke spear tackles him from behind.
Whiplash by
It
the
was
sounds of it.
fucking great.
So is that the end of part one?
That's
James?
the
Is
end
that
of part one.
Right.
We'll-
In part two, I'll be putting on my commissioner's hat, and we will be doing the very, very random draw to find out who's got who.
Or we'll be putting on our GM epaulets.
Yes, our GMF. Who's got who in the forthcoming 57th annual Snap UK podcast draft?
Woo!
Right, we're back, and it's now gearing up for my favourite part of the season. May not be Vernon Kay's, the draft.
Fuck Vernon Kay.
Oh, you were Vernon Kay, honestly.
We've got beef. Right, so new listeners, if there are any, hopefully there will be. Well, this news to them. We always do a mock draft every year. It's the Tuesday before the actual draft.
One of the best shows we do, isn't
I
it?
think it is the best show. It's the most fun show.
It's not hard.
Griff acts as commissioner.
Best looking victim on the Burns unit.
Nice. Griff acts as
You need
commissioner.
more confidence.
Yeah.
Myself, Johnny
Brash.
Brash, thank you. Paul and Gary each get assigned a number of different teams, and we then draft them. It's good fun. So today we're
we
going to
do
find
what
out.
we do what we would do as
Yeah,
GMs.
it's
not
what we would do, not what we think would happen. Or
Yeah.
Which
And
means
we-
Paul gets to enact chaos.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we get to trade, with the commissioner's permission. So you can trade with yourself if you've got two teams that you
Oh
think
yeah,
want to trade.
if you want to play with yourself, Gary, that's fine.
exactly. But it's we all put a lot of effort in. It's the most effort we put into anything.
I
we
wore a
do.
suit once.
You did.
Yeah, you did,
I
didn't
did
you?
wear a suit. Yeah,
I feel like we should have the suit back this shit.
I can put a suit.
I hope
on.
we have the suit.
I'm thinking in my current state, I may not fit in any of my suits. I might have to buy a new one.
I mean, and to keep
Well-
authenticity, we always boo him as soon as he
Yeah,
comes
that's
out.
also fair.
Can you get like a tuxedo t-shirt?
Tuxedo t-shirt and pants.
But like that feels like that's a £3 Primark
I
purchase.
can definitely do that.
Excellent. We'll work on that. So we'll pick teams later. We're going to preview the draft in a couple of weeks' time, where we'll actually have done a bit more research. But a couple of news items that have come out today. Firstly, rumour has it that the Titans are willing to trade up to number 3, which is the Cardinals' current pick, presumably for quarterback. Chance of this happened, I think?
Moving
Well,
up 8 spaces.
The Cardinals aren't going to pick a quarterback, are they?
They're not, no.
Definitely not. So I'm guessing they are one of the teams that would move. So whether they can move that far, I don't know. But they'll definitely be shopping that pick around, won't they?
I would have thought so. I'd say
Because they need a lot more in. They had a terrible year last year, so they need.
quarterback
and
is
if
probably
they
about
lose-
the only position they don't
If they
need.
lose in DeAndre Hopkins, they're gonna need some sort of capital to move with.
They've lost JJ Watt. Like they have
Cornerbacks aren't
nothing
great.
anywhere. Budda Baker, well done. You've got
Safety,
you've got a team built around Budda Baker.
Might as well build a team around you.
I mean,
Backup punter John Farrow.
if Budda Baker is listening, I do think you're better than me at American football.
That is reassuring.
But if Rondell Moore is listening, I think you're shitter than me. Fuck you.
Both statements equally fair.
Yeah.
Other teams that could trade up, Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah, they won't, but could.
I don't think this is the draft for the Raiders, is it?
It's not the fucking year for them, really.
No,
Just give in.
No, but
Not a
they've-
decade for
I
them.
know they've got
Yeah.
It's not
Jimmy
the
on.
game for them.
Yeah.
They've got Jimmy on a prove it deal, haven't they? But
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're convinced that is the issue.
I
think if they can pay a cheap quarterback like Jimmy G, they might take one. They might take one second round. Third
I'd
round.
love them to trade up and pick a quarterback, because then you could have Jimmy G being a slightly more handsome version of was it Matt Barkley, sat there at the draft night looking more and more miserable as he
Well, it'll just be
realised.
the same shit, another year, wouldn't it? Exactly what happened in San Francisco last year.
Yeah, I don't. Jim's going to tell me otherwise, but there are 4 or 5 quarterbacks, maybe 6 that could go in the first round, right? But tell me that one of them is way better than the rest,
It'll be
and I'll
more.
tell you you're wrong.
It'll be more. It'll always be more.
I think
If you
there's-
think it's 4, it'll be at least
Yeah,
5.
you're probably right. Actually, you can make an argument for a
But I
fifth.
don't think
Yeah.
you need to trade up, because I think there's going to be one further down the draft that is probably got just as much chance of being good.
I think the Raiders will take one second round, second or third round.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about the quarterbacks. And like I said, we'll come on to this a little bit more in 2 weeks' time. I think you're right. I think there are 4 that are destined for the top 15. I would say top 10, but I probably agree with you. There's one that's going to be a Josh Rosen that will slip.
There's a Lamar Jackson somewhere,
There is a
or
Lamar
the
Jackson.
potential Lamar Jackson somewhere.
So I guess the one who's getting not so much the best, but probably the most hype at the moment is Anthony Richardson.
Not CJ Stroud.
I'd say CJ Stroud he's the current favourite to go number 1. He's the more prototypical quarterback when you compare him against Bryce Young. I think they're 1 and 2. What order they go on? We don't know. Anthony Richardson getting loads of hype. He played 13 games for the Gators. Accuracy is a massive issue. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. So consistency is brilliant. He's got the highest ceiling and the lowest floor of all the quarterbacks. His testing was unbelievable. He could be an absolute freak of a quarterback.
He could be Cam. He could be Zach Wilson.
Yeah. There's not been a quarterback into the draft with as low a accuracy percentages as him, I think.
Tebow.
since Tebow, Hackenberg, I think was what.
Oh,
Trace McSorley was another one.
Hackenberg.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my God.
Hackenberg and Trace McSorley, I think, were the two quarterbacks who might have lower accuracy. that have gone.
That's
Yeah.
it's not worth the risk, surely.
Freak of an athlete, though. And I think that's a dilemma.
Hackenberg.
I mean, if you're... Do you want...
Did he ever throw a pass?
Yeah.
In the playoffs, didn't he?
Something, it was really bad.
In the playoffs, because... I don't know. Oh, maybe...
Are you thinking of Bryce Petty?
No, I'm thinking... It was one of the Raiders. They had a really...
No.
Hackenberg.
It's Connor Cook. Connor Cook started.
Cook.
I think
Yeah.
Hackenberg never started in the NFL.
I think you're probably right. Anyway, so... I mean, that's the dilemma that any GM is going to be. It's like, you're looking at a top 5 pick, probably to get him. Do you want, having seen what Jalen Hurts has done, do you want that type of athlete?
It's difficult because you can see what Trey Lance has done as well, isn't it?
Exactly. Or do you want to go for the more prototypical...
Will Levis, who... Not Levi, like the jeans.
No, Levis, like the... I don't know.
Like the Levis.
Like the Levis.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's reaching.
Yeah, I know. I think
You love to reach around.
let's call him Will Levis.
He's the first quarterback, Christian Hackenberg, since 1967 to be drafted in one of the first 2 rounds and never start an NFL game. Never play in an NFL game.
This is the most airtime Christian Hackenberg ever.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
So at the moment, CJ Stroud is favourite to go number 1. Bryce Young is probably the second favourite to go number 1. The issue of Bryce Young, obviously, he's very short, he's very small.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is very short, but he wasn't as lightweight as Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I'd take Stroud.
I would as well.
I mean, I this is all the bit I don't know. I need to do some more research. But yeah, all I keep hearing about Young is the height thing, and you're like, I don't know how totally relevant it is. I know you know, Trevor Siemian was like 6'7" or something. You know, like he's still shit.
Osweiler.
Osweiler
was like nearly
6
7 foot tall. Yeah.
Still.
Do you know what? I think
I mean, you know, Colt McCoy is like his neck alone is 3 feet tall.
I think accuracy is a more important indicator than some physical attributes. I think CJ Stroud will be the number 1 pick, and if he's not, I think the Panthers might have done themselves out of the best option. But
I think there's a lot being put on athleticism now because they see these dynamic quarterbacks and they think that is the key. And
it's beautiful for 6 games a season.
And when you think, like, when it was Fields or Trey Lance, me and Jim both wanted Fields. We both thought he was the better overall
Turns out
quarterback.
he will be the better overall quarterback.
But, you know, when you looked at the athleticism stats, Lance, his upside, you know, was amazing, you know. And he might, you never know, he might still reach it. But
We haven't seen enough.
at the time, the upside looked crazy. But when you look at like a Mahomes didn't just have like unreal athleticism. We're not supposed to have the best athlete at quarterback.
No.
It's supposed to be the best complete player.
You look at the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, and probably only 2 of them are outstanding athletes. The others are all brilliant quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think that's where Bryce Young becomes more in play because his reading of the game is brilliant. Passing accuracy, brilliant. Like I don't think there's a better player in terms of like reading the game and getting a quick pass out there. Probably hasn't got the arm strength that CJ Stroud or Levis has, but he can still make a throw. I think with CJ Stroud, you're getting a more rounded package, 6'3", 218 pounds. His completion percentage last year, 66.3. That's fine. 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's all good. I think he doesn't read the game as well as Bryce Young, but Bryce Young's tiny.
Yeah. Like I say, we'll go into it.
Yeah.
Full review.
Anyway, other bit of news: Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, refusing to visit any teams outside the top 10.
Is it because he had to drive there and he can't be trusted?
For those of you who don't know, he was arrested for racing, a racing incident
That led to a death.
Not in the car he was in. The other car he was racing, there were 2 deaths, which he is facing charges
They
for.
prefer the term hearing impaired.
Hearing impaired, yes.
But he is supposed to be
Brilliant.
He is supposed to be the best
Taking out,
player, the best defensive player.
best player. He was brilliant for Georgia. Absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
He's probably 1 or 2 in terms of best player available.
Seems like a bit of a dickhead, though.
Does seem like, and like his
Pro day was bad, wasn't
pro
it?
day was really didn't complete the workout. He couldn't complete the workout. Not that he didn't. He couldn't complete the workout. I think there's too many red flags there.
Yeah, why would you take him off?
Why are we in the top 10? You then go, yeah, that's a lot of red flags.
Is it? Could he have a Nakobe Dean style draft where suddenly he drops because like Nakobe Dean was on about as a first round pick but people then started to doubt him. Went in the 3rd round. I mean, he went to the Eagles and ended up on a good team.
Dropped a bit last year, didn't he? There was talk of him going first, and then character issues for some people. Like he dropped a few places.
Larry Tunsil,
Not
famous,
loads, but,
famously on draft night, Larry Tunsil, picture comes out of him and he drops from probably 1st overall choice, or he's 2nd, down to 13th, 14th.
Yeah. It's still one of the greatest draft night photos.
What? Somebody knew what they were doing there.
His gas mask bong. It's fucking brilliant.
But why did nobody look at that and go, if he's that good when he's high, how awesome is he going to be?
Yeah.
Because that turns out is what has happened. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There was a quarterback for the Raiders. I mean, it was in the 70s who threw touchdown passes whilst on, I believe, crack cocaine. So
I mean, there were a few Raider players.
yeah,
back
you
in
know.
the
So
day.
I don't think it's the downside that people say it is. So let's see.
Advocating the use of crack cocaine there. That's John Farrow from Northampton.
I'm just saying, if you're going to go big,
I know nothing.
I don't know. I've never done
Right.
illegal
Right.
drugs.
Done plenty of crack, but no cocaine.
Any
yeah?
more
Yeah.
for the draft, James?
No,
at the
I
moment?
think we'll wrap it up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Griff, over to you. How is this working?
Well, it's complicated. But
It does seem more complicated than normal when you normally just
only
go,
because there's
"Somebody
always,
takes us."
always because there's always claims of fixing. And that's because usually I do it in advance and then I say
tell us.
I say blindly pick A, B, C or D and I just start with one of you. So what I've done is I have assigned A, B, C and D to different envelopes. I have numbered the envelopes. And I am the only one with any idea what is allotted to each team in this envelope here. Paul is not here. I will be picking for Paul.
Okay.
I do not know. I will simply take the envelope that is left. I am going to start with the producer of the show, John, and ask you which number between 1 and 4 would you like?
Between 1 and 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 or 4. You know how it works. I made it quite simple for you.
Fuck me.
Falling at the
Draft night's gonna be a
third
long
one.
one, isn't it?
I've heard about building
C.
intrigue, but like
3.
Number 3. Number 3 for you, John. Just keep holding the envelope there for a second. Gary, what would you like?
I've always been and always will be number 1.
Jim, you can have 2 or
2.
4. Number 2. That means Paul
Utter
has
piss.
got number 4. Now, when you open your envelopes, you'll find inside is a letter. Yeah, I didn't seal them.
A letter.
You
You've
just
written
said,
me a
no,
letter.
it's just a letter. So take
I
letter.
really hope you've written.
And now
me.
one of you will also have the Joker, which once
I can see
Jim has
Jim
the
has
Joker.
2 slips.
yeah. So you can steal somebody else's once we've read out
Somebody
who's
else's
got
team.
somebody else's whole draft. You have to steal their whole draft.
So does that mean if he steals mine, I don't have to do anything? I don't have to turn up?
No. It means you just swap with him.
Okay.
Oh, by letter you meant a letter.
Yes,
I
a
I
letter.
thought you'd written to me as the commissioner.
no. Fucking
Dear
sorry
Gary,
for that.
dear Gary,
Dear
good luck.
GM.
Good luck with this year's draft.
John, you had the first choice of envelope. You chose envelope number 3. What was your letter?
C.
You are C. This is how the
You've just
lottery
gone
works.
reverse order.
No, I have
A,
not.
B,
No,
C,
no,
D,
no.
reverse.
I randomised it initially and then tried to make it so everyone got the same number of picks. It doesn't work this year on the basis that the Dolphins had their selection revoked, if you remember.
Yeah.
So there's actually 31 first-round selections. So 3 of these envelopes contain 8 picks. One of them contains 7.
Are you going to send this out so I don't have to write
I
this
am
down?
going to send it. I will
Just
take
listen
a
to the
photo. I
fucking
will take a
podcast,
photo
you
of it
idiot.
and you will have it. So, C. You have your first pick is the 3rd overall pick.
Ooh.
The Cardinals.
Nice.
You are also choosing on behalf of the Lions
Oh yes.
twice.
Nice,
Fan
nice.
18, fan 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are choosing on behalf of the Tetons,
Okay.
Commanders, the Vikings, and the Saints.
Nice, John.
I'm happy with that.
It's good that you're happy with that.
I
So yeah,
like
your
that.
big selection is the 2 picks for the Lions.
Take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Now, Gary, you were next up. You ended up with letter number D. Letter number D.
Letter number D.
It's been a long fucking week. So your first pick.
Did you print? You
Tenacious.
printed him out.
He printed those. You could have just printed the fucking teams.
just you could have written it.
Just could have
I
put
love
the
it.
teams next to them.
Takes away some of the.
I was very tired, and so
It's the effort of printing the letter D.
I did.
cutting it
I
out.
was so tired. Right, your first selection is number 4 pick, the Colts.
Ooh.
And then moving on, you are selecting on behalf of the Eagles twice,
Boo.
the Falcons, the Jets, the Steelers, the Chargers, and the Cowboys.
Oh, I've got some interesting stuff to do there.
James,
Yes, sir.
what was your letter?
B.
B. Your first selection is the Texans, who have 2 picks. You're also selecting on behalf of the Packers, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Bucks, and the Raiders. You have the short straw with the 7-team draw. However, because there are 4 teams without a first-round selection,
Yep. Such as the North.
I have allotted those teams because you may wish to trade in. The Dolphins and the Rams are both assigned to letter B, which then brings you up in line with everyone else. The 49ers are with C, John, and D was the Browns. Now, that leaves, interestingly enough, Paul with the first overall selection. He has,
That's what he wants.
he has A.
Jim, take it off him.
He has A. So he has the Panthers, the Seahawks twice, the Bears, the Patriots, the Ravens, the Jags, and the Bills. He does not have a non-first round selection team. So you would lose that bargaining power.
What was it? Panthers, Seahawks, Bears, Patriots, Ravens,
Jags and Bills.
Jags, and Bills. Oh, that's a nice.
Yeah. So this is where the jeopardy begins. James, you can steal someone's entire draft.
Do I have to decide now?
Yes.
You do. It is required to be decided tonight because otherwise it would be on draft night, and I thought that would be the cruelest thing going.
Do you want the first pick?
Yeah.
That's the key question. Or
I
do you want all
have.
John's lovely picks?
I have managed to make this draft so far so that no one has back-to-back picks. However, as we know, once you start drafting and trading amongst yourselves, that could change.
that, yeah.
But for the time being, there are no back-to-back picks in this year's draft.
Interesting.
The draft order, in case you were wondering, for your letters is A, B, C, D, A, C, B, D, A, D, C, B, D, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, D, A, C, A, C, D, A, B, C, D, B.
Sounds like some sort of
Bosh.
cheat
So
code to a Mega Drive game.
Up, down, down. CD.
Ryu just ended someone.
Yeah.
Should we give Jim a time limit to
Well,
make his
while we're discussing this,
selection?
before the end of today's podcast, you need to decide if you're stealing and who you're stealing. Oh, I like it. I like it. Can you have Rachel Riley come out as well?
No, sorry. We've
Can
got
you get your tips out?
we've got Carol Vorderman's mum.
Well, I am
dead.
gonna steal.
You are going to steal.
Yeah.
I think I know which way you're going to go with this. I think you're going to steal from John.
I'm actually gonna steal from Paul.
Ooh, now, I should say, Paul had told me expressly if he got steal, I was to take from John regardless of what option Paul had, just to quote, fuck things up. So you are stealing, you are taking the first overall selection.
Yeah.
He is going to be furious because I spoke to him earlier, and one of the only things he told me was that he was what he really wanted most
Was the first
was
pick.
the first pick, so we could fuck things up.
I feel like Jim's seen that coming and is heading it off at the pass. James, we can swap picks. I will do so on Paul's behalf.
Shall I give you the steal token?
You can give me the steal token.
Just so he can't steal twice.
You might notice I did handwrite the word steel.
I did,
That's
yeah.
because when I typed it out, I wrote steel as in metal. Because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I printed it off, I was like, you fucking moron. It's been a long, long month. So Paul now has pack B. So I will provide photos to show you who you're picking for. Everyone will get a copy of this. And your research begins now. John, don't choke on your drink.
Just want to say, as GM of the Cardinals, my phone is open and willing for
You
trades.
could
So
be trading with yourself with the Titans.
I know,
Yeah.
but yeah. Who's got the Ravens?
I have the Ravens.
Because
You do.
there was a couple of teams I thought, if I get them, I'd be looking to do some trading with the Ravens. But we'll see if that materialises because I don't have them anymore. Or the teams I
Remember, please, all your trades need to be put through me. You can do it in advance, or you can wait till the night. But I will be the arbiter, the harbinger of trades.
Paul still has got a second overall pick.
the Goodall equivalent.
He'll be so proud of you for fucking shit up. Whoever had the option should have done that.
Will you be insisting that we keep all trades quiet
We normally do, don't
until
we?
You're pretty good at that.
I don't think you should talk amongst yourselves beyond who you're talking to. So
Yeah,
no.
we normally keep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trades
If
secret.
John and Jim are trading, then Gary and Paul should not know.
We don't need to know, do we?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be until basically that pick emerges.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
then I will announce said
Back in
trade.
the day when we first did this, we didn't even Griff didn't know.
No,
And he'd be like,
chaos.
so the next pick is, and we go, no.
No, I think you'll find it's not.
Hang on a second.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Penguins from the NHL have traded in. It was a bit random. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. I know that was a really overblown way of doing it, but you cannot say that wasn't the most random way of using it
was
because
pretty
no one fucking knew. So good.
Excellent.
I like it.
I think last couple of years as well, there's been a sort of an inclination to like give me the Giants or give one of these guys the 49ers and just removed it. I like it.
Yeah, I like that as well.
So it's
I'm all-
completely random. I don't know who did end up with the Giants. Was that indeed you, John?
No,
No?
I can't remember.
Giants, John, C.
Oh, is it me?
Giants, it is you. There you go. I thought it was when you said that out loud.
Oh,
right there.
I was too busy applauding the fact that I got the Lions, thinking I'm going to make these guys
Double Lions.
fucking incredible.
Yeah, you
I
are.
think you really can as well. It was either going to be yours or Paul's. I stole.
I'm
from.
so proud of you, and Paul will be too.
You're saying I've got the shittest draft.
Yes, just saying it's not the one I wanted.
Okay, that is everything I believe we need to cover on
That's
today's show.
it for now. We'll be doing a preview of the draft in 2 weeks' time and our actual draft in 3 weeks' time. And then,
In 4 weeks' time, we'll talk about the real draft.
yeah, absolutely. Good point.
And in 5 weeks' time, some fucking time off. Yeah. Fucking hell.
And then it's just a countdown to September. That's it for tonight. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time.
Fuck Fud and K.